Hello, this is Adam Cooke here, and I'm answering some questions on project management. The question I'm answering just now is about reporting, and the question, how do I deal with all the reports I need to produce? Well, here we go. First of all, reporting is very much part of what a project manager does. So reporting can seem like a chore and annoying and one of the less interesting bits of managing a project, but actually it is an integral part of managing a project. It isn't just about getting things done, but you've got to communicate to management and other people with an interest in the project, what is going on, partly to give them an update so they know what's going on, but also to reassure them that everything is under control. And so in a sense, it can benefit the project manager to produce reports because you demonstrate by doing that you are in control. And if there is anything adverse you need to put into a report, you can include with that what your take is and what your intentions are. And so there are benefits in producing reports. But what can happen is that you can find yourself producing multiple different reports over and over, because there'll be weekly reports, monthly reports, depending on the project and the organisation. And it'll be for your management, it'll be the project sponsor if it's different, there'll be for the end user groups and so on. So here's what I recommend you do to keep it controllable and manageable. First of all, I would scratch out on paper. I'm a bit old school. I like to use pencil and paper as I find I can be more creative with that. So first of all, scratch out a grid showing all the different people that you're going to have to send reports to, or groups of people. So those are all the different reports that you need to produce, and then a column for what each of those need to include. And you're going to see some patterns emerge. And what you can do then is aggregate those into a set number of reports that you do each week and each month, and which particular report they're going to be. And you can narrow it down to a smaller number. And then when you've got that grid and you've roughed it out and sketched it out in pencil, you can type it up into Excel or Word or whatever's appropriate for you, so that you have it as an aide-memoire, because you're going to be doing this week after week, month after month following this. And also, if anybody asks what your reporting plan is, this is an integral part of your reporting plan. Now, how do you actually manage the volume of stuff you need to do? Well, when you look at the grid, it'll give you some clues as to what the reports need to include. But as a first take, I would say, start each week or each month by producing the report that shows the most information. So that will be perhaps the report that you will send to your line manager or to the project sponsor, but there'll be a report that contains more than any other. So I'd start by producing that each month or each week, and then once you've created that, then you edit it largely by deleting what's not required to form the other reports. It's not a very good idea to send the detailed report to everybody for a couple of reasons. One is because it'll be long and people will want to read a big report. People really want to get a report and get what they want out of it right away. They don't want to read lots of stuff. So a report needs to include for each audience exactly what they want to see. So that's a reason why you delete what they don't want to see. The other thing is, what can happen is if you include information for the wrong audience, they will read it and not necessarily understand what it means, possibly misunderstand. And so that can raise questions. So I'd avoid sending information to people who don't need that information. So each person gets a report of what they need and not what they don't need. And ultimately also what this means is that all the reports agree. So if you have Joe Bloggs in this department comparing what he received to Stan Smith in that department, they will see a common message. They'll probably see pretty much the same report. They may be in different departments, so they'll see what each of their department is the news is reached for their particular department, but it'll look like it's the same report written by the same person with the same sort of information, just tailored to their individual needs, and that'll look reassuring to them. The other thing you'll benefit from the other benefit you'll get from the report is that if you do get individual questions about the project, you'll be able to take what you've already typed up in the report and put it into an email to answer questions. So your report isn't just beneficial because you're meeting your commitments to the various people who need to receive your report, but it means each week or each month you're producing a volume of text that you can then use to answer any question. The other benefit you get from this is that all the reports agree with each other. There are not going to be any differences they're going to find between them. And one extra detail I'd add is to be clear on what date you produce each report. You'll find there's a routine of doing it every Thursday afternoon or every Tuesday morning or whatever. So you really want to stick to that routine, make sure that time is blocked in your calendar so that you always do it at the same point in time. And that particular point in time needs to be mentioned in the report because things will be happening all the time. You may have a routine of doing it Thursday afternoon, but things will be going on Thursday and things will be going on Friday. And so if somebody reads the report on Friday or a Monday, they need to be aware that they are reading a report of what the situation was the preceding Thursday. And you can add, if there's something arises between you writing the report, finalising that and sending it out, you can add something in an email and say, the report refers to such and such piece of work happening on Thursday evening, that was successful. You know, you can do something like that. So basically, that is what I would recommend you do in order to control your reporting and make sure it doesn't become too much of a workload. Because, as I say, producing reports is an integral part of what a project manager does, but you don't want to spend too much of your time doing it. You need to be really efficient as to how you do it. And going back to what I said a moment ago about routine of Thursday afternoon or whatever, I would particularly block out time, if you can, in the calendar for it, where you can go through it from beginning to end. You can prepare some of the content in advance, in a sense you're preparing it throughout the period, the week of the month, but you probably want to go through producing the report from beginning to end and get it done. If you start doing it bit by bit, it can end up taking much more of your time. If you just give it an hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes on the appointed afternoon or morning, you'll find it's a more efficient use of your time and you'll feel more under control. And once you get this cycle going, I think you'll feel much more comfortable that you have a routine that works, keeps everybody happy, keeps everybody informed, keeps everybody having confidence that you know what you're doing and everything is under control. And there we are. That's what you really want from a project manager. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please comment below. If you have any suggestions, have those comments as well, so long as they're polite and appropriate. And I shall be producing more of these in the future. See you then.